Hello, Merry Meet. So, today I want to address a topic that a lot of people who are neo-pagans have been told, and that is, if somebody doesn't understand your path, understand your religion, is discriminating against you, and so on and so forth, try to explain what Wicca is. Let's just have Wicca as a focus there, but really this can be used for any neo-pagan faith. Um, the problem is that while a lot of people ask, let's tell you to explain it, how do you explain it? Because explaining the concept of religion can be quite difficult, at least to do it in a very short amount of time. Now, here's the thing. People have, it's very often difficult to get people to listen to you. That's why politicians and so on have advisors that write their speeches for them, because there's only so much information you can give before people stop paying attention. Now, here's the thing. If you first gotten somebody interested and they are then interested in learning something themselves, then you can go on with longer explanations. But when you are starting to just get it out there what this is and what it is not, it is important to basically stick to talking points. Because now, while I don't remember exactly how many words and so on it is, there's a limit to how long most people. I wonder if my dryer is falling down out there. It's important to keep to a relatively short explanation. People will just stop paying attention. In addition, you have this thing that a lot of people get. I have experienced this when trying to teach people to play a card game I play, Magic the Gathering, that a lot of people just shut down. They think, no, this is too complicated, I cannot learn this, and then they don't learn it. Even if it really isn't that complicated. But if people get it in their mind, this is too complicated, then they will just smile and nod and learn absolutely nothing because they're convinced that they can't. So, of course, this is just how I would do it, but I would look at the person that I'm going to try to explain this to. If the person is initially negative to Wicca, then I would focus on dispelling their fears. If they are asking about something that basically, do you sacrifice children and all of those things, then basically my talking points would be directed towards dispelling those fears, where, of course, a lot of those people that are very bigoted, it won't matter what you say. For some people, and I have experienced this, when you explain it what it actually is, some of that negativity goes away. However, if this is somebody who asks because they are interested in what you are believing, then you can address more about the tenets and so on and so forth within the religion. So you have to look at what audience are you having. And then if somebody asks more questions, then of course you have them interested. Then you can explain more. But if it's just a quick, this is what it is, then you should try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. So let me try to do two versions of this. One for somebody who is showing a very negative opinion towards it, and one towards somebody who's just curious. If we go with the one that's just curious first, I would say something like this. Wicca is a nature religion where we believe that there are good energies in nature, and we see the divinity as dual, that we have one female side and one male side, and that this duality is presented in nature. That's a very, very simple one. If somebody then seems interested, then I might say, continue by saying we, to get closer to this idea of nature, we celebrate seasonal rituals and also celebrate the phases of the moon, because we believe that, well, with by attuning ourselves to nature, we also then attune ourselves to the gods. Basically, form the information in small sections, basically the most basic things first, then add a little bit and add a little bit and add a little bit after the person asks you. Because generally speaking, most people that ask you, they're not looking to become, because they don't need all the information. What they need is a basic, what are you doing? What is this? Are you all crazed Harry Potter fans that just lost it somewhere? And by doing something like that, you put it in a context that they can understand. They can understand the idea of, we believe our gods are in nature. Well, it isn't 100% exactly the way we see it, it's close enough, and it's a non-threatening concept. Now, for somebody who is generally negative, of course, if they ask a directly negative question, I would then say no. For example, I was asked here the other day, when I said I was going to do a full moon ritual, and then he asked, and do you sacrifice small animals in this? So no, in my past, generally speaking, we do not do sacrifices of animals. We believe that to do harm is wrong. So sacrifices generally are of food or flowers. That is very simple, it's very concise, it addresses his concern. If I had started to have a huge discussion of Wiccan ideals and morality and concepts behind sacrifices and so on, chances are he would not be that, he would not keep up with that, and when he got home he would still be wondering that. But by answering the question very concisely and a short explanation as to why, then I dispelled that. So that's how we do it with a direct question. But sometimes, for example, if you're asked by a Christian person that seems negative, what's Wicca? Is it Satanism? And generally I would say, no, we are a polytheistic religion that believe in the duality of divinity. We don't believe in the Christian devil, so no, we are not Satanists. By doing that, it's very simple. Now, of course, some pagans do believe in the Christian devil. He is one of a lot of male entities, just like the goddess or any other god is part of male divinity, and all goddesses are part of female divinity. But going into all these deep concepts will only confuse a person. If they ask you something like that, answering that very simply and concisely, preferably with only 1 or 2 sentences, your information gets through. If you start a long tirade about it, then information does not. And believe me, I love discussing these topics. That's why I make these very, very long YouTube videos, that I can just let my mouth run with the topics I love. And when somebody asks me, like, the temptation is so there to just go on and go on and go on, but out of experience, unless people is then particularly interested, I just talk right over their heads and nothing gets through. By being short and concise, I get the information through, and then some of these people will then become more interested and will ask follow-up questions, and the more interest they show, the more detailed information I give. And you can do the same about any topic. I mean, it's really the same if you're not Wiccan, but any other kind of occultist. For example, I consider myself to be an occultist, and I more often use occultist than Wiccan, because I'm a chaot that has a neo-pagan / Wiccan And I'm not saying that neo-paganism and Wicca is the same, but it's that sphere of it, more towards Wicca main paradigm. So yeah, but if somebody asked me about occultism, I would do exactly the same thing. For example, somebody asked me, the occult, isn't that dangerous? I said, no, it's not. It's the study of hidden knowledge. You could call any study of religious lore for occultism. That puts it very simply there. And since these people are religious, it also puts it into a frame of mind that I can understand the study of religious lore. I might also say that no, occult simply means hidden. It just basically anything that's a bit out of the ordinary that you study could be seen as occultism. Now, that isn't the most detailed explanation. It might not be the most accurate definition, but it's a way to put their mind at ease. And if they then ask more, then I will add more information to it. So I guess that my main advice here is keep it short and sweet. If you go into depth about the various Wiccan beliefs, where the beliefs comes from, how old it is, the detailed concepts of the goddess and the god, and so on and so forth, the 90% of the people that you are talking to that are not Wiccans themselves or particularly interested in those topics will just fall off by the wayside, and they will still be wondering the same thing that they asked you, because their brains just shut down. It's, oh, that person is babbling. Dinner today, macaroni and cheese, that's good. Oh, you're still talking? Perhaps sitting down with Netflix doing, oh, you're done, great. Because that's just how humans think. And I'm not trying to be arrogant. It is actually scientifically proven that is how generally people think. And I mean, I do it too. When somebody talks to me about topics like, for example, my husband really love, I'm not exactly sure what it's even called, speakers and sound systems and all of that. And when he starts to talk about how various materials for wires and so on affects the sound and go into real depth about that, I'm sitting and thinking, I wonder what computer game I'm gonna start with. So now you're still talking, honey? But if he gets a short point across, then that might catch my interest, and I might even ask more questions about it. Because if you just overload people with information, they will, generally speaking, not just, unless they get extremely interested, it will just go in one ear and out the other. And also, if you make something sound so complicated that people think, oh, this is complicated, then also they will not learn anything. So keep it short, keep it simple. And that's your best chance of explaining your path to an outsider simply and easily. So yeah, that was my video today. I hope you have enjoyed it. Have a great day, and blessed be.